My story starts when I was a teenager. I endured a life of trauma, pain, brokenness. When I was young, 16 years old, I had just a dramatic trauma of being sexually abused by multiple men, actually. I was at a party, drunk, wasted and high, out of my mind. And this is what led me to being sexually abused. And through that, I wanted to end my life. And my addictions, my coping mechanisms just increased because nothing felt enough. I actually started to hear voices in my head that would tell me every day to kill myself, to end my life, that life was gonna be better without me not being alive or without me not being present anymore. And I just started to really believe the core lie that my life was not worth it, that I wasn't worth it to live. So my addictions obviously started to increase, and these led my parents to take action. And they decided to force me into rehab, which I was not happy about. And they took me to this Christian rehabilitation center. And actually, while I was there, I was withdrawing hardcore because I was not consuming my coping mechanisms anymore. I locked myself in the bathroom, and my original plan was, I'm just gonna end my life right now. I don't wanna be alive anymore. I feel the weight of my past, my shame, my pain, and I wanna end my life. So I actually locked myself in the bathroom, and that was the place where I encountered Jesus. I actually grew up as a Christian, but I think I grew up with a lot of religion and legalism. It felt very limiting. I was actually very terrified of the person of Jesus. I felt like I had to walk on eggshells. Anytime I would think about him, anytime I would think about what he would require of me, it never felt enough, or I felt afraid. I almost felt like I had to hide or walk on eggshells or perform in order to measure up. In this instance, I heard his voice audibly calling me by name and saying, Ali, I'm not mad at you. And everything in my life that I believed about who God was in a moment confronted by the truth and the reality that he was not angry at me. It felt like I was in that spot for 3 hours, but it was probably like an hour that was the most transformational hour of my entire life. I cried the most I have ever cried because I felt all of this pain that I never had really processed with anyone, and I had encountered the safety of Jesus for the first time in my life, calling me by name, and I just felt his embrace. And there were so many parts of my story that I felt ashamed of, or felt just very unworthy or unlovable. I had obviously a lifestyle of anger and self-destruction, shame. I was very ashamed. And in that moment when I encountered Jesus, I felt almost like he was holding my face up. He was lifting up my chin and giving me dignity for the first time of my life. In fact, I feel like my life, it's like Kintsugi. It's a beautiful Japanese pottery that was broken, and it gets put back together. And in the places where there have been cracks, there is this beautiful gold strips that cover the cracks. I believe that my life is Kintsugi, that Jesus has picked up all the broken pieces of my heart and my life, put them back together and actually beautify them. My life verse is Isaiah 61. I have encountered Jesus heal my heart, bring freedom from the prison of my addictions in the past, from the prison of my self-hatred, my shame. And I believe that this is my mission, to invite others to know freedom in Jesus, to see the captives free, to bring people into moments from beauty instead of ashes, to bring people into moments where they feel like the garment of praise is put on them instead of a spirit of despair.